So today I've been asked to give 3 lectures. It's kind of an interesting assignment. In 47 minutes I'm supposed to give 3 lectures on the Bhagavatam verse, on the holy names, and on the disappearance of Haridas Thakur. So I'm begging for the mercy of all the Vaishnavas. Somehow I can give 3 lectures in 46 minutes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ekantina Yashya Na Kanchana Artam Vanchanti Ye Vai Bhagavat Prapanna Ati Adbhutam Tat Charitam Sumangalam Gayanta Ananda Samudra Magna Tam Aksharam Brahma Param Paraisham Avyaktam Adhyatmika Yoga Gamyam Atiyendriyam Sukshmam Eva Atiduram Anantam Aryam Paripurnam Ede Ekantiya Yashna Kanchanartam Vanchantyeva Bhagavat Prapanna Ajadbhutam Chatcharitam Sumangalam Gayanta Ananda Samudra Magna. What's going on here? You put the second verse. Oh, okay. I thought you would hit the first verse, the second verse. Okay. Tam akshara brahma parang paresham avyaktam yadhyatmika yoga gamyam atendayam sukshmam avabhituram anantamadyam paripurna ide tam aksharam brahma parang paresham avyaktam yadhyatmika yoga gamyam atendayam sukshmamivati duram anantamadyam paripurnamide ekantina unalloyed devotees who have no desire other than Krishna consciousness. Yashya, the Lord of whom, na, not, kanchana, some, artam, benediction, vanchanti, desire, yea, those devotees who, vai, indeed, Bhagavat Prapanna, fully surrendered under the lotus feet of the Lord. Ati adbhutam, which are wonderful. Tat charitam, the activities of the Lord. Sumangalam, and very auspicious to hear. Gayanta, by chanting and hearing. Ananda, of transcendental bliss. samudram, in the ocean, magna, who are immersed, tam, unto him, aksharam, eternally existing, Brahma, the supreme, Param, transcendental, Padam Isham, the Lord of the Supreme Personalities, Avyaktam, invisible, are not able to be realized by the mind and senses, Adhyatmika, transcendental, Yoga, by bhakti-yoga, devotional service, gamyam, obtainable, ati-indriyam, beyond the perception of material senses, sukshmam, minute, eva, like, ati-duram, very far away, anantam, unlimited, adyam, the original cause of everything, parnipurnam, completely full, ide, I offer my obeisances. Now we are blessed with the translation and purport of His Divine Grace, Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Padivijakacharnja Astatadadashishimad A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Tri Dandi Goswami Maharaj Praundaracharya of ISKCON Ki Jai. Unalloyed devotees who have no desire other than to serve the Lord, worship Him in full surrender, and always hear and chant about His activities, which are most wonderful and auspicious. Thus they always merge in an ocean of transcendental bliss. Such devotees never ask the Lord for any benediction. I, however, am in danger. Thus I pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is eternally existing, who is invisible, who is the Lord of all great personalities such as Brahma, and who is available only by transcendental bhakti-yoga. Being extremely subtle, He is beyond the reach of my senses and transcendental to all external realizations. He is unlimited. He is the original cause, and He is completely full in everything. I offer my obeisances unto Him. Purport. Anyabilashita shunyam gyanakarmadnanavritam anukuyena krishnanu shinanam bhaktir uttama. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:111. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. Unalloyed devotees have nothing to ask from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Gajendra, the king of the elephants, was circumstantially asking for an immediate benediction because he had no other way to be rescued. Sometimes when there is no alternative, a pure devotee, being fully dependent on the mercy of the Supreme Lord, prays for some benediction. But in such a prayer there is also regret. One who always hears and chants about the transcendental pastimes of the Lord is always situated on a platform at which he has nothing to ask in terms of material benefits. Unless one is a completely pure devotee, one cannot enjoy the transcendental bliss derived from chanting and dancing in the ecstasy of the Sankirtan movement. That's a pretty powerful statement. Let's read that sentence again. Unless one is a completely pure devotee, that means 90%, 95%, 100%. Prabhupada is saying unless one is a pure devotee, 100%, one cannot enjoy the transcendental bliss derived from chanting and dancing in the ecstasy of the Sankirtan movement. So, do you want to relish the bliss? You want to taste the nectar? Well, you do. Jai. One person wants. 2, 3. All right. We want the nectar, right? We're drowning in misery right now. Birth, death, old age, and disease. And we want to taste the nectar. Well, here's what you have to do. You got to become a pure devotee. Wow. You become a pure devotee right now, Sankarshana does. We have to become pure devotees. So how do you become a pure devotee? Well, one of the most powerful ways of becoming a pure devotee is to beg for it. Krishna, please, my dear mother Radharani, and my dear Krishna, please bless me. I can right now become your pure devotee. There's a special prayer for that. You know that prayer? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So if you can't chant Hare Krishna in the pure bliss of a pure devotee, then chant in the almost pure bliss of somebody who's praying to become a pure devotee. You see? So that's our hope, you see. Those of us who are still caught up in the modes, this is our hope. We have to beg for pure bhakti. Prabhupada continues. Such ecstasy is not possible for an ordinary devotee. That means people like me are missing out on the nectar. We're missing out on the full nectar. You see. We're getting some of the nectar, but not the full nectar. So we have to become not ordinary devotees. There's two. There's the ordinary devotee and the pure devotee. So the ordinary devotee is not getting the full nectar. He's getting some. He's not getting the full nectar. So we ordinary devotees, we have to beg intensely to become the pure devotees so we can really relish the nectar. This is what Prabhupada is pointing out here. Continuing on here. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed us how one can enjoy transcendental bliss simply by chanting, hearing, and dancing in ecstasy. This is bhakti-yoga. Therefore, the king of the elephants, Gajendra, said, Adhyatmika yoga gamyam, indicating that unless one is situated on this transcendental platform, one cannot approach the Supreme Lord. The benediction of being able to approach the Lord can be achieved after many, many births. What is the hope for us Kali Yugites? Now Prabhupada explains that. Yet, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has awarded then his benediction to everyone, even to the fallen souls. Jai, there's hope for us. Even to the fallen souls, Lord Chaitanya has awarded this benediction to the fallen souls who have no heritage of anything in spiritual life that is actually being seen in the Krishna consciousness movement. Therefore, the path of Bhakti Yoga is the spotless process by which to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhaktyaham Ekaya Grahya. Only through devotional service can one approach the Supreme Lord. The Lord says in Bhagavad-Gita 7.1, Maya Shakta Manaparata Yogam Yujam Mamashraya Asangshaya Samagram Vam Yata Jagashi Chachchanu. Now hear, O son of Pita Arjuna, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. Simply by being attached to Krishna consciousness and thinking of the lotus feet of Krishna constantly. Wow. Constantly, that's quite something. Constantly thinking of Krishna's lotus feet. One can fully understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead without a doubt. Well, because we're not thinking of those lotus feet constantly, our understanding is still limited. So the point is, the more we are Krishna conscious, the more we will understand what is Krishna consciousness. And the more we understand what is Krishna consciousness, the more we'll be inspired to go deeper and deeper and deeper into Krishna consciousness, which will give us more bliss, more realization, etc. So therefore, this process is simply wonderful. Because at any level that you connect with it, you'll be blessed. And when you take that blessing with great enthusiasm, then you go to the next level, the next level, the next level, you see. I've been doing this now for 47 years. I got initiated in 71. So I've seen a big difference. I mean, the process really works. It really works. I mean, I can think where I was at in 1971 and now where I am. It's a huge difference. This process really transforms your consciousness. You have to be patient. It doesn't happen overnight. But if you stick with this process year after year, decade after decade, you will actually experience the transformation going on. It's actually mystical what happens to your consciousness if you stick with this process. And the magic just goes on increasing exponentially. The more you become realized, the more the realizations become, they increase. The more you become Krishna conscious, the faster you advance, and the more you advance, even faster you advance. So it becomes more exciting as you go along. It gets better. It's never the same. Krishna consciousness is ever increasing, and there's no limit to how far it can go. And that reminds me of the other lecture I'm supposed to give on the holy name, which is very nicely described by our Rupa Goswami Prabhupada in his Vidagdha Madhava, chapter 1, text number 15, if I can remember the verse now. Tunde tandamading vitidate tindavali lamdaye karna krodha kadamani gatayate kunalbride raspraham chaitarpangani sangani vijayate sarvendriyanam kritim no jane janita kriyadbir amrita krishnate varnadvai. One of the most amazing verses, really amazing verse in all of Vedic wisdom. Rupa Goswami is absolutely amazed. He says, I do not know how much nectar these two syllables have produced. Krishneti Varnadvai means the two syllables Krishna. These are pretty amazing syllables. Rupa Goswami says, I do not know how much nectar these two syllables Krishna have produced. Because when I vibrate Krishna, there's so much nectar exploding in my mouth that even if I had millions of tongues and millions of mouths, it would not be enough to hold all of that nectar. And then when Krishna enters the halls of my ears, wow, there's so much nectar. Even if I had billions, trillions, quadrillions, sextillions, octillions, you get the idea, of ears, that would not be enough to contain the unlimited oceans of nectar exploding out of Krishna. Actually, there's so much nectar in Krishna that nectar can actually explode and burst out of the whole material existence. And then he says, and when the name of Krishna enters within my heart, I'm absolutely stunned. I'm totally diving in an ocean of unlimited nectar. My senses become completely inert. So do we taste that when we chant our rounds? Well, not yet. But if we keep chanting and following these principles, it will come, you see. That unlimited nectar one can relish simply by vibrating Krishna, you see. If we keep endeavoring, you see. Right now we're covering with Nama Parad. Actually, if one was completely purified, when I vibrate Krishna, you would directly experience Krishna. You know what Prabhupada wrote me in one letter? He said, now you just qualify yourself to see Krishna face to face. Well, after 47 years, I haven't gotten there yet, but I know I'm getting closer to where I could say Krishna, and Krishna would actually become present in front of me just by going Krishna, but Krishna would manifest, you see. That day can come for every one of us, you see. And we can chant with such purity that Krishna, Radharani, all the great acharyas, they become manifest in our presence, you see. So this is the great power of chanting the holy names. These holy names are so powerful, they can inundate this entire universe with transcendental bliss. Right now there's great trouble and turmoil in the world. All kinds of hell is breaking loose on this planet. Horrible, nightmarish conditions. But this holy name of Krishna is so powerful, it can completely revolutionize this whole human society. It's actually possible. We can see what Prabhupada said that day when all the high court judges wearing Vaishnava tilak. Can you imagine? That in the White House they have kirtan in Washington, D.C., or in your parliament building here in India or Australia. Just imagine all the government leaders wearing Vaishnava tilak going, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. That's possible, you see, by the power of the holy name, you see. So the holy name is revolutionary. It revolutionizes our hearts, and it can indeed revolutionize the entire world. Prabhupada actually said, we can make the whole world Krishna conscious in 18 days if we just cooperate with me. Well, that means we're not cooperating very well yet. That the world hasn't become fully Krishna conscious in 18 days means we're like, you know, it's like there was an old Hollywood series in the days of the silent movies. They were called the Keystone Cops. And the robber would be there, and the police would be bumping into each other instead of catching the thief. They all be bumping into each other. So in some ways, ISKCON is still like the Keystone Cops, you know. They're bumping into each other. Boom, 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 boom. But Prabhu, you see, we're still bumping into each other. The fact is, and we can truly learn how to absolutely perfectly cooperate with Srila Prabhupada, with our every thought, our every word, and every deed, in every single situation, 24/7, the whole world will become Krishna conscious, you see. So we owe it to the fallen souls that we should become pure devotees, absolutely spotless pure devotees, you see. Because then we can actually see that amazing inundation of Krishna prema in the hearts of all living beings in this material world, you see. So I also want to ask to speak about this amazing lila. And not having memorized the whole thing, I thought, why not just read it straight from the Chaitanya Charitamrita? What could be more nectarian than that? I'll just read the English, because we only have a limited time. It's a very nice description of Haridas Thakur's disappearance. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Haridas Thakur and his master, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who danced with the body of Haridas Thakur on his lap. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is very merciful and is very dear to Advaita Acharya and Lord Nityananda. All glories to the master of Srinivas Thakur. All glories to the master of Haridas Thakur. All glories to the dear master of Agadhir Pandit. All glories to the master of the life of Sarup Damodar. All glories to Lord Chaitanya, who is very dear to Kashi Mishra, who is the Lord of life of Jagadananda and the Lord of Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami. All glories to the transcendental form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. My dear Lord, kindly give me shelter at your lotus feet by your causeless mercy. All glories to Lord Nityananda, who is the life and soul of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. My dear Lord, kindly give me engagement in devotional service at your lotus feet. All glories to Advaita Acharya, who is treated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as superior due to his age and respectability. Please give me engagement in devotional service at your lotus feet. All glories to all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. For the Lord is their life and soul. All of you kindly bestow devotional service upon me. All glories to Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, and Gopal Goswami, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. They are all my masters. I am writing this narration of the pastimes and attributes of the Lord by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. I do not know how to write properly, but I am purifying myself by writing this description. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus resided at Jagannath Puri with his personal devotees, and he enjoyed the congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In the daytime, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu engaged in dancing and chanting and in seeing the temple of Lord Jagannath. At night, in the company of his most confidential devotees, such as Ramananda Roy and Sarup Damodar Goswami, he tasted the nectar of the transcendental mellows of Lord Sri Krishna's pastimes. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very happily passed his days in this way at Nilachala, Jagannath Puri, feeling separation from Krishna. He exhibited many transcendental symptoms all over his body. Day after day, the symptoms increased, and at night they increased even more. All these symptoms, such as transcendental anxiety, agitation, and talking like a madman, were present just as they are described in the Shastras. Sarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Roy, the chief assistants in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, remained with him both day and night. One day, Govinda, the personal servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, went in great jubilation to deliver the remnants of Lord Jagannath's food to Haridas Thakur. When Govinda came to Haridas, he saw that Haridas Thakur was lying on his back and chanting his rounds very slowly. Actually, you may know, but Prabhupada explained how many rounds he chanted every day. You ready? 192 rounds every day. We just like we heard 64 rounds we were supposed to chant, but Prabhupada minimized it to 16. Well, he chanted 3 times 64 rounds every day. 192 rounds every day, which is 3 lakhs. Can you imagine chanting 192 rounds every day? Wow. But now he's chanting very slowly. Please rise and take your Mahaprasad, Govinda said. Haridas Thakur replied, today I shall observe fasting. I have not finished chanting my regular number of rounds. How then can I eat? But you have brought Mahaprasad. How can I neglect it? Saying this, he offered prayers to the Mahaprasad, took a little portion and ate it. Now here's a nice tip for those of us who have a hard time getting our rounds done. He's thinking, well, if I haven't finished my rounds, how can I take prasadam? It's a nice little tip for those who have a hard time getting their rounds done. You can say, well, first I finish my rounds and then I take prasadam. It's a nice little tip if you have a hard time getting your rounds done. Saying this, he offered prayers to the Mahaprasad and took a little portion and ate it. The next day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Haridas's place and inquired from him, Haridas, are you well? Haridas offered obeisance to the Lord and replied, my body is all right, but my mind and intelligence are not well. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further inquired from Haridas, can you ascertain what your disease is? Haridas replied, my disease is I cannot complete my rounds. Let's read that purport from this verse. If one cannot complete the fixed number of rounds he is assigned, he or she be considered to be in a diseased condition of spiritual life. Srila Haridas Thakur is called Namacharya. Of course, we cannot imitate Haridas Thakur, but everyone must chant a prescribed number of rounds. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we have fixed 16 rounds as the minimum, so that the Westerners will not feel burdened. These 16 rounds must be chanted and chanted loudly so that one can hear himself and others. Now that you have become old, the Lord said, you may reduce the number of rounds you chant daily. You're already liberated, and therefore you need not follow the regulated principles very strictly. Now, our old devotees don't think, I don't have to chant 16 rounds now. Don't think, well, I'm old now, I'm a senior citizen, I don't need to chant, I can only chant 8. No excuses. Your role in this incarnation is to deliver the people in general. You have sufficiently preached the glories of a holy name in this world. The Lord concluded, now therefore please reduce the fixed number of times you chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Haridas Thakur replied, kindly hear my plea, my real plea. I was born in an inferior family, and my body is most abominable. I always engaged in low work, therefore I am the lowest, most condemned of men. I am unseeable and untouchable, but you have accepted me as your servant. This means that you have delivered me from a hellish condition and raised me to the Vaikuntha platform. My dear Lord, you are the fully independent personality of Godhead. You act by your own free will. You cause the whole world to dance and act as you like. My dear Lord, by your mercy, you have made me dance in many ways. For example, I was offered the Shraddha Patra, which should have been offered to first-class Brahmins. I ate from it even though I am born in the family of meat-eaters. I have had one desire for a very long time. I think that quite soon, my Lord, you will bring to a close your pastimes within this material world. I wish that you not show me this closing chapter of your pastimes. Before that time comes, kindly let my body fall down in your presence. I wish to catch your lotus-like feet upon my heart and see your moon-like face. With my tongue I shall chant your holy name, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. That is my desire. Kindly let me give up my body in this way. O most merciful Lord, if by your mercy it is possible, kindly grant my desire. Let this low-born body fall down before you. You can make possible this perfection of all my desires. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my dear Haridas, Krishna is so merciful that he must execute whatever you want. But whatever happens is mine. But whatever happiness is mine is all due to your association. It is not fitting for you to go away and leave me behind. Catching the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Haridas Thakur said, my Lord, do not create an illusion. Although I am so fallen, you must certainly show me this mercy. My Lord, there are many respectable personalities, millions of devotees who are fit to sit on my head. They are all helpful in your pastimes. My Lord, if an insignificant insect like me dies, what is the loss? If an ant dies, where is the loss to the material world? My Lord, you are always affectionate to your devotees. I am just an imitation devotee, but nevertheless, I wish that you fulfill my desire. That is my expectation. Because he had to perform his noon duties, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up to leave, but it was settled that the following day, after he saw Lord Jagannath, he had returned to visit Haridas Thakur. After embracing him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left to perform his noon duties and went to the sea to take his bath. The next morning, after visiting the Jagannath temple, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, accompanied by all his devotees, went hastily to see Haridas Thakur. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the devotees came before Haridas Thakur, who offered his respects to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the Vaishnavas. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, my dear Haridas, what is the news? Haridas Thakur replied, my dear Lord, whatever mercy you can bestow upon me. Upon hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately began great congregational chanting in the courtyard. Vakeshvara Pandit was the chief dancer. Headed by Sarup Damodar Goswami, all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu surrounded Haridas Thakur and began congregational chanting. Just imagine what a kirtan that must have been. Haridas is there, Lord Chaitanya, all the devotees surrounding him. Just imagine if we could go there by some mystical process and actually see that Leela. How amazing that would be. In front of all the great devotees like Ramananda Roy and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to describe the holy attributes of Haridas Thakur. As he described the transcendental attributes of Haridas Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu seemed to possess 5 mouths. The more he described, the more his great happiness increased. After hearing the transcendental qualities of Haridas Thakur, all the devotees present were struck with wonder. They all offered their respectful obeisances to the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur made Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sit down in front of him, and then he fixed his eyes like 2 bumblebees on the lotus face of the Lord. He held the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his heart, and then he took the dust of the feet of all the devotees present and put it on his head. It's a nice way to leave your body. Take the dust from all the devotees and then leave your body. He began to chant the holy name of Sri Krishna Chaitanya again and again. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 etc. As he drank the sweetness of the face of the Lord, tears constantly glided down from his eyes. While chanting the holy name of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, he gave up his air of life and left his body. Seeing the wonderful death of Haridas Thakur by his own will, which was just like a great mystic yogi's, everyone remembered the passing away of Bhishma. There was a tumultuous noise as they all chanted the holy names Hari and Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became overwhelmed with ecstatic love. The Lord raised the body of Haridas Thakur and placed it on his lap. Then he began to dance in the courtyard in great ecstatic love. Because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic love, all the devotees were helpless. And in ecstatic love, they also began to dance and chant congregationally. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced for some time, and then Sarup Damodar Goswami informed him of the other rituals for the body of Thakur Haridas. The body of Haridas Thakur was then raised onto a carrier that resembled an airship and taken to the sea, accompanied by congregational chanting. Airships? Wow, that's pretty amazing. The airships, 500 years ago. Interesting. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced in front of the procession, and Vikesh, just imagine the scene, Lord Chaitanya dancing in front of this procession. How beautiful that must have been to see Lord Chaitanya dancing in front of that procession. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced in front of the procession, and Vikeshvara Pandit, along with the other devotees, chanted and danced behind him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed the body of Haridas Thakur in the sea and then declared, "From this day on, this sea has become a great pilgrimage site." Everyone drank the water that had touched the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur, and then they smeared remnants of Lord Jagannath's sandalwood pulp over Haridas Thakur's body. After a hole was dug in the sand, the body of Haridas Thakur was placed into it. Remnants from Lord Jagannath, such as his silken ropes, sandalwood pulp, food, and cloth, were placed on the body. All around the body, the devotees performed congregational chanting, and Vikeshvara Pandit danced in jubilation. With his transcendental hands, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally covered the body of Haridas Thakur with sand, chanting, "Haribo! Haribo!" The devotees covered the body of Haridasa Thakur with sand and then constructed a platform upon the site. The platform was protected all around by fencing. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced and chanted all around the platform, and as the holy name of Hari roared tumultuously, the whole universe became filled with the vibration. After Sankirtan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed in the sea with his devotees, swimming and playing in the water in great jubilation. After circumambulating the tomb of Haridasa Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the Singha Devara gate of the Jagannath temple. The whole city chanted in congregation, and the tumultuous sound vibrated all over the city. The transcendental disappearance of Srila Haridasa Thakur ki jai. So now we have about 5 minutes left. If there's any questions, I can try to answer them. And maybe you can help me. Somebody can, since I'm a little deaf, maybe you can help me. Actually, here, I have a little microphone. You can say it into this mic, and I can hear it in my hearing aid. I'll try my electronic device here. What is your question, Prabhu? Well, it's already a holy place. Now it's even a more holy place. You see. That's right. Holier than a holier place, a holier holy place.
He's asking, what's the question?
The question was, only I could hear. What was this? If it was already a holy place, then why did he declare why did Lord Chaitanya declare from this day forward, this place, this sea here will be a holy place? It was even more holy after that Leela. Is that clear? Okay. Any other questions? There's a buddy back there. Hand the mic to him. Actually, you got to give them the mic so everyone can hear it, not only me.
Thank you very much for this class. It was certainly enlightening. My question is, we know that we come to Vrindavan to increase our taste for practicing sadhana, and the most important aspect of sadhana is chanting the holy name. But then it's been observed, the moment we come to Vrindavan and try and chant the holy name, there are a lot of many difficulties. Could you please suggest some practical tips that will help us increasing our taste for chanting the holy name?
The best tip for chanting Hare Krishna is to get up early in the morning. The earlier you get up, the easier it is to chant. It's like some devotees get up like at 2 a.m. and chant their rounds before Mangalarti, for example. The tip is the earlier you get up, the easier it is. As the day progresses, the Rajaguna, once the sun comes up, Rajaguna comes, you see. So the early morning before sunrise, that's the secret. It's the atmosphere before the sunrise is so thick here. It's like you can practically cut it with a knife. It's so thick here, the spiritual atmosphere before sunrise. So chant all year round before sunrise. That's the best advice. Then you can go deep, 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 deep into Namruchi. Actually, if you remember this verse of Rupa Goswami also, you see, we have to beat our mind with shoes. The mind tends to go somewhere else. We say, okay, mind, get back to where you belong. My dear mind, you belong in one place and one place only, and that is to be totally, completely absorbed in Ramruchi. That's where you belong, mind, nowhere else. Anywhere else you go, you're rascaldom, my dear mind. Now you come back to Krishna, come back to your eternal relationship with Krishna as his servant. Okay? Next. This devotee here. Put the other one to the mouth too. Yeah.
My
My question is, we read about this quite often, that we have to meditate on Krishna's lotus feet constantly. Because we hear that we have to chant incessantly. But even chant 24 hours of the day.
Kirtaniya Sadahari, correct.
So can you explain practically what it really means?
Sure. You have to totally immerse yourself in devotion to Krishna. That's the point. You must be we must be absolutely, totally, deeply entrenched in bhakti with every fiber of our being at every minute. That's what it means. So, just like you may have a service of distributing books. So that to meditate on perfecting that service, that's non-different from meditating on Krishna's lotus feet. Maybe a pujari, or maybe you're raising a Krishna conscious family. You see, you have a wife, you have kids, you're engaging your occupational duty in Krishna's service by using it to support a Krishna conscious livelihood in the Krishna conscious movement. The real point is you have to cultivate pure bhakti at every minute. To let my every thought, my every word, my every deed, in all times, places, and circumstances be purely, unlimitedly pleasing to my beloved Krishna, to my beloved spiritual master. You just have to, it's a matter of laser focusing your consciousness on your real duty, which is to be the pure devotee. Anything else is secondary at best. We have one business only, and that is to become absolutely, totally absorbed in pure love of Krishna at every minute. You see, the fact is, actually, we're Krishna's associates from the spiritual world. Each one of us is an intimate associate of Krishna in his original or one of his expanded forms. We're all associates of Krishna. So what are we doing here, identifying with this damn body? It's insane. We have to get back to that original identity we once had, and we threw it away foolishly to try to enjoy separately. We have to get back to who we actually are. Jivera Savrupahoy Krishnera Nityadas. You see. So we have to intensely desire that at every minute in everything that we're doing. Whether you're taking bath, putting on tilak, even passing stool. Everything we do, we have to be absorbed in that mood. Let me get back to my original pure consciousness. So that's the real meaning. That mood of begging for pure devotion and begging for the empowerment to give Krishna on the order of Chaitanya to the suffering souls of this world, that mood has to be the center of our consciousness at every minute and everything that we do. Does that make it clear? Okay. Any other questions? Jai Shuddhi Prabhu, my beloved God brother. Put it, you hold the other one too. This goes into my hearing aid. Goes right to my hearing aid.
If you can give us some tips on cooperating. Quite often Krishna has things like World Holy Name where we all get together, or big projects like My War, or other more things in Vrindavan. But what are tips we can have to working on getting out of our extended selfishness of just my side and my temple to building the worldwide movement?
Your question is the most glorious question. Because, as Prabhupada said, if we cooperate, we can actually make the whole world Krishna conscious. The fact that we're not making the whole world Krishna conscious yet is because we're not cooperating. So what is that mood, or what is that understanding that will bring us into perfect, loving relationships with each other all over the ISKCON movement? This is very, very essential for the survival of our movement and the success of our movement. And the key is very clearly given in the Shastra. Ye me bhakta jana parta, na me bhakshata te janaha, mad bhaktanam chi ye bhaktas, te me bhakta tamamata. My dear Arjuna, Krishna says, the one who is my devotee, na me bhaktas. He is not my devotee, but the devotee of my devotee. He is my devotee. So, unless you're the devotee of the devotees, you're not a devotee. So we have to learn how to love and appreciate every single devotee as a special blessing of Krishna upon me. You see, we have so many devotees. We tend to take devotees for granted, but we have to beat our mind with shoes and realize to have the association of a Vaishnava is the greatest blessing you can ever achieve in millions and billions of lifetimes. We take it so for granted, and we're so casual and offensive sometimes with each other. I remember I was trained very nicely by Vishnu Jan Swami. In fact, Prabhupada told me in one letter, he says, "You have been trained up under the expert guidance of His Holiness Vishnu Jan Maharaj." And what did he say? He said, "You must always be in the embracing mood." Always. Of course, not between men and women, of course. But women to women and men to men. That embracing mood should always be there in all of our relationships. Always that embracing mood. I love, you know. Should always be in the mood of embracing the Vaishnavas, you see. That embracing mood. Of course, in etiquette, you embrace your equals, you bow down at the feet of your superiors. You know, there's that etiquette also. But it's all in the embracing mood. It's all in the embracing mood. You're a Vaishnava, you're the most dear person to my heart. You are a Vaishnava, you see. Of course, Prabhupada says there are Kanishta, there are devotees who are offensive, just like we have our Ritvik friends. There are devotees we respect at a distance who are committing so many offenses. But our mood is always the embracing mood with Vaishnavas. We have to understand that we commit so many offenses all the time in our thoughts, our words, and our deeds, and we have to pray to Krishna, "My dear Lord, please bless me, I can become free from all the aparads," you see. Pure bhakti means no Vaishnava aparads. As we read in this purport today, to actually to genuinely taste the ecstasy of the holy name in the highest sense of the term, we have to be pure devotees. And that means perfect relationships with the Vaishnavas. So it's a great question. It's a great question. If we can perfect this art of loving relationship in ISKCON, the whole world will join this movement. I'm convinced. If we can simply perfect these loving relationships, the whole world will join. Because they're all suffering like anything. And all these selfish, horrible so-called relationships they're having now, they're all miserable. Nobody knows what it's like to be loved, you see. They don't know what it's all lust going on out there. Why are we attracted to join Prabhupada? Here we found genuine love, isn't it? Prabhupada was the first person who genuinely loved us. And that love came through his disciples also. That amazing love of Prabhupada, that's what made this movement. That's the whole foundation of this movement, that love of Prabhupada. And those who purely represent Prabhupada, they're the advanced devotees in our movement. Doesn't matter if you're a woman, a man, a kid. Those who are purely representing the love of Srila Prabhupada, they're the real senior devotees in our movement, actually. Who purely represent, in all of their dealings, that love of Srila Prabhupada. So anything else? I guess we'll go ahead and stop here. Everybody has to